Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about cognitive behavioral therapy. So cognitive behavioral therapy is kind of a mouthful. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to shorten it to CBT. And I've watched a lot of videos on CBT and read a lot of articles, and I feel like it's a concept that can get really confusing really quickly. So I'm going to try to explain it as simply as possible in this video for you. So first I want to talk about the idea behind CBT. The C in CBT stands for cognitive, which is basically a fancy word for thoughts. The B stands for behaviors, and this means the actions. So CBT talks about the relationship between our thoughts and our actions. So first let's talk about the thoughts. We have different types of thoughts. We have thoughts that we can think about willfully, like if I wanted to think about being on a beach right now under the sun, I can actively think or willfully think that thought. And then we have a second kind of thought called automatic thoughts, and everyone has automatic thoughts. These are the thoughts that just kind of pop into your head, sometimes out of nowhere. And sometimes these thoughts can be not so pleasant. In fact, they can be really, really negative. I'm going to use depression as an example just to kind of break it down easier. That someone with depression might have automatic thoughts that are telling them that they're worthless, or they're not good enough, they're never going to be good enough, they're a failure, things like that. And these thoughts can constantly loop most of the time of the day. In fact, it's really common with depression to see people have thoughts that are constantly negative about themselves, their environment, and the world. It's not fun, and it can cause a lot of negative emotions and negative feelings. So the B in CBT stands for behavior, or for the action. And the main idea behind CBT is that our thoughts influence how we feel. So if we're having negative thoughts, it's going to cause us to feel negative feelings. Feelings like worthlessness or hopelessness, sadness, anxiety are all things that we can feel that are influenced by our thoughts. And this influences how we behave, or the actions that we do. Back to our depression example, if someone is depressed and they're having feelings of worthlessness, they're going to act in a way that is going to reinforce that idea. So if I'm feeling worthless, I might avoid trying new things. Here, avoidance is the behavior or the action. Someone with anxiety might be fearful of social situations, so therefore they might avoid going to that party. And avoidance is a primary behavior in both depression and anxiety. So when you go to see a cognitive behavioral therapist like myself, what is it that we are going to ask you to do? How does therapy actually work? So CBT aims to help a person change these problematic thoughts and actions. And a lot of emphasis goes into changing those behaviors because behavior is what we have the most control over. In fact, we have 85% control over our behavior, 15% control over our thoughts, and that leaves 0 control over how we feel. I know that a lot of people like to think they can control how they feel, but you actually really can't control how you feel. You feel how you feel. The way that you change how you feel is by changing your thoughts and changing your behavior. And that is the idea behind CBT. If we can examine our thought process, find evidence for and against certain thoughts that we're having, and start to challenge the way that we're thinking, it's going to change the way that we feel. What this can look like is examining, why is it that I think I'm worthless? What evidence is there that supports the idea that I am not worth anything? Is there anything that supports that? Or is this just an automatic thought that I'm having about myself because I'm feeling depressed? And in CBT, when we work on changing behaviors, we're trying to work backwards because, again, we have the most control over our behavior. So that can look like actually going to that party that you are afraid to go to because you're afraid that you're going to experience rejection. It can look like getting up and doing your laundry or doing your chores, things that you want to avoid because they feel so overwhelming because you feel so depressed. Challenging problematic behaviors is that idea of faking it till we make it. When we challenge problematic behavior, it reinforces the idea that we can do these things that we might not think that we can actually do. Maybe I'm not worthless. Maybe there are things I can do that add value to my life. And CBT therapists are trained in a wide variety and array of different techniques that can help people challenge their thoughts and challenge their behaviors and actions. I hope this video was a helpful overview of CBT. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. I release new content 2 times a week, and I will see you in the next video.